How we all doing? How we all doing? Yes, good to see you. Um, yes, today I'm going to make a very bold prediction. I'm going to make a very bold prediction, and I want to see um what you think in the comments. Let me get your opinions. As you can see, I'm putting on my jersey, Arsenal jersey, um, and I'm going to make a very bold prediction. I think um in the next 3 years, in the next 3 years. Arsenal would have won at least two titles or two trophies, and out of those two trophies, one of them would be the Premier League title. Yes, call me crazy, but I really believe that. I really believe that, and I'm rooting for Arsenal. So many of my friends know even before. So at work, we have this prediction. We have this predict. We predicted, me and a few other of my colleagues. We predicted the table, and on my table, I put Arsenal to win the league. Well, I'm not too sure if they'll win the league this season. I still believe they can, even though we're currently now top of the table. I still believe we can. Um, and there's one reason why I do believe that they can win the league. I think the reason, and I've been following them for a few years. I look at both the footballing reason and will I say life reason, and also what the trajectory. But let's put it that way. So at the beginning, when Arsenal were really doing really badly after um, Arsene Wenger left. So yeah, after Arsene Wenger left, and well towards the end of his tenure, it was not very good. I would confess. And then Unai came in Emery, and Unai, very good coach, as we can see in Aston Villa. Really good coach, really good coach. I really respect him. But I think the aftermath of Arsene Wenger, whoever takes the reins afterwards was going to have a very, very difficult job in a sense. And what we could see that from Alex Ferguson, when Alex Ferguson left Man U, the subsequent coaches, even though they were really good coaches, they really struggled. Number one, because of the expectation that the fans had, and also the fact that these people, Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, they've pretty much, let's say, become an institution on their own because of how long they've been in the club. So then to make changes would take a lot of work. And so I knew Unai Emery would struggle, and there were a lot of mistakes, and there were a lot of issues there. Unai not being able to communicate as effectively as he would like. Unai is a very brilliant coach, and when he came to Arsenal, I was excited, but then I realized that it's going to be a really difficult task, which it was. But now we can see his pedigree, we can see what he's doing at Aston Villa, and he's doing a very, very fantastic job. But when Unai left, so I was speaking to one of my colleagues, and the option was to choose between Ancelotti and Arteta. So between Ancelotti and Arteta, and this colleague was saying that he would prefer Ancelotti because Ancelotti has more experience and has all this, and I was a bit, yeah. So Arteta is an unknown quantity, but I believe that it's best to start from scratch, not just pursue the titles and try to win the titles in the short term, but start from scratch because of um, the level or the, let's say, try to build everything again. And so as Arteta was my choice. I believed he was a good coach because he served with Guardiola, and Guardiola, I love Guardiola. So let me let you into one secret. Before I started supporting Arsenal, when I really started knowing about football, I followed Barcelona, so FC Barcelona. So I was supporting Barcelona. I still love Barcelona, even though they're rubbish at the moment. I still love them. But I'll just go for detail. So, but so I knew of Guardiola even before he started at Barcelona when he was a Barca B, and when he moved to then Barcelona. So I knew he was a really, really good coach, wonderful coach, probably pretty much one of the best coaches the world of football I've ever seen. I can say that very confidently. And so Mikel Arteta served under him, and Mikel Arteta served under David Moyes, or he played under David Moyes. And David Moyes and Guardiola have different styles of play. But I believed that the learnings he got from David Moyes, the solidity of the defense, and the kind of like beauty of the football that Guardiola played, if he combines those together amongst other characteristics, and I think he's a brilliant manager also. And I've heard of him um, teaching or coaching Sane and other young players on what they needed to do to become better players. Anyways, so um, when Arsenal chose Arteta, I was quite excited because it was the start of new things. But coming to the main point, you see, the reason why I knew that they would win something in the nearest future was the phrase that they used, and that was trust the process. Trust the process. Because I knew um, there wouldn't be a short term fix, or if there was a short term fix, it wouldn't last long. After Wenger left, they needed to build a project. The owners need to be in on it. Everybody needed to work together, and the players also need to buy into the vision. And you could see it from the beginning. There were some difficult decisions that needed to be made. A lot of the big name players had to leave because they were part of the old, well, I say tradition, and it's very difficult to change the minds of those kind of players. And we could see what went on. There were some really tough decisions, but at the beginning, it wasn't. We didn't really see any change. I think we finished eighth, and then I think we finished fifth. We were supposed to finish on the top four, but then we messed up and finished fifth. And then now we finished second. And in the process, as I believe, the second position was actually good. Was something we never even thought we would get to. So in the process, we were a bit ahead. Last season was a disappointment, even with the second, because we could have won the league. We should have won the league. But I still believe that Arsenal will win the league. And it's because of that phrase, trust the process. So right from the beginning, when Arteta came in, he spoke about trusting the process, and they were different. He had a plan. He had he had a pathway. He needed the support of the owners. He needed the support of the supporters. Just the work of getting the supporters on side is a big job on its own. So he needed the help of the supporters, he needed the help of the owners, and he needed the help of the players. He needed the right transfers, the right signings. And you can see that every year there's been a building block. They've been building step by step. And they bought this season or last summer they got Declan Rice. And I could see it was a development into the next stage. The first stage was get to understand the style of play, get to understand what the coach is trying to say. At the beginning, they were messing up, but you could see that after a while, they were catching up with the type of tactics that the coach wanted. You could see that now he was molding this team in the way he wanted to play. And last season, there was quite some exciting football that were being played. This season is another next stage in it because you realize that you can't just always play exciting football, you also need to be solid. And you see the step by step decision is making. The players understand what he wants, and the players are playing to it, and we're getting the rewards, we're getting the successes. And now, probably 4 years ago, we weren't even in the running about title contenders, but now we are constantly in the discussion. And so a lot of times we look at the short term disappointment. We lose a game and then we all say, oh, Arsenal are rubbish. Or we don't win the league and we say, oh, that's how they always mess up. But we could see the trajectory. We may not see during those times where he was when we were 8, we may not see the difference. But number one, in the style of play, in the let's say, in the what word will I use now? In the statistics, um, you can see that their passing was better, the defense was a bit better, but then they were making individual mistake, and I believe that is when they were trying to learn the new way of playing. But now you can see that the defense is quite solid. The attack last season was firing on all cylinders. I hope this season they will fire on all cylinders. The next step will probably be getting a proper striker. But you could see a trajectory. And that kind of like uh, make me think about that phrase with regarding life. You see, we want to get to a certain level, on the next level, really, in our profession, in our life, in our everyday life, fitness wise, financially, in those, in different areas of our lives. And we know that we want to get there. A lot of times, one thing we lack is, how do we get there? How do we get there? And that's the process. How do we get there? What is the pathway? And sometimes we find the pathway, but we are not willing to sacrifice things, sacrifice time, sacrifice friendships to get to this desired goal. And for some of us, we have actually started on the pathway, we've started on the process, but because of short-term disappointment, because we are not getting the result we think we should get. For example, I'm going to the gym. I want to get my six pack. I don't have a six pack. I think I have a one pack. Yes, but you want to get a six pack, and you're going to the gym and you're doing this exercise, and after a week, you're still not seeing any change, and you're thinking, do I need to do this? I'm not seeing any change. I think I'm just wasting my time, and I'm feeling a lot of pain. But something is consistency that you that you decide to take, and the persistence that you decide to take based on your long-term goal. When you keep going on those things, on those pathway, you realize that little by little you start seeing some changes. You start seeing some changes, and after a while, those changes then compound. And then at the point you're not really seeing any change, and after a while you just see a massive jump, and people call you an overnight success. But it's not really an overnight success. It's because of the little steps you have been taking from time to time, and that's the process. What is the goal you're trying to attain, and what is the process that you've put in place? Financially, I need to be saving this amount of money, I need to be investing this amount of money. And for the first maybe few years, you might not even see the effect, or you might just see little effect, and people will be laughing at you and saying, "Well, you've missed all these nice things that we've had, and you've still not gotten the effect of your investment." But it gets to a point where there's this kind of like turning point, where just a little more effort creates a bigger reward. And I just wanted to. It's something I learned. Something I was thinking about. That is something that I learned. That just still be consistent in whatever you're doing. So far, you know that this process will take me to this next level. The first thing is to make sure the process will take you to the next level. I have a process in the first place. Make sure it's the right process. And it then comes to a point where you decide to be flexible. So when you're on this process, and through getting more knowledge, you realize that this is not the best or the most efficient way I could get to this level. You then need to be flexible to tweak these processes. But you don't need to abandon or throw everything away. How can I make this process better? How can I make it more efficient? And those are the things you then need to think about. But the main point is, you need to have a long-term thinking, long-term thinking, strategic thinking. I want to be in positions of leadership in the next, let's say, 5 years, and next 10 years. What do I need to do to get there? Who do I need to connect with? What do I need to study? What courses do I need to do? What do I need? What books do I need to read? And so those are the things you then do. And then working on those different things then take you to that next step over time. And so, yeah, let me know what you think. It's something I learned, and well, my prediction still stands. I think within the next 3 years, Arsenal will win one trophy, um, and at least the Premier League title, one Premier League title within the next 3 years. And so, let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm just it maybe just wishful thinking on my part. And this trust the process is not is not just peculiar to Arsenal, because I know other teams have used it and to varying degrees of success. But I think Arsenal win the league. And well, also coupling the fact that Jurgen Klopp is leaving. Well, I already knew Arsenal would win the league even before Jurgen Klopp says he will before Jurgen Klopp says he will leave. But I think yeah, Jurgen Klopp leaving, I think that's a big one for Liverpool. I think a few players will also leave with him. Um, and Pochettino for Chelsea, he's a good coach. I respect him, but I think Chelsea at this moment they're still in their development. They're still a few years away. United, they're just up and down, so they're unpredictable. I think they'll get better with the new owner, with Jim Ratcliffe having a stake in it, and who else can I think of? Tottenham, they play very very exciting football, but I think they'll be sussed out possibly next season. So I still think Arsenal will win the league with the current trajectory in which they're going. They could win it this season. I'm not writing them off, but I know in the next 3 years they will. So yeah, let me know what you think, and yeah, send me a message, send me comments. I'll read your comments or respond to your comments, and if you have any questions, let me know. But the key point to this video is trust the process. Always create the process and trust it, irrespective of the fact that you're not yet seeing the dividend in the short term. Know that this is a long term strategy and this will bring me benefits. Well, I hope you've learned something today, and I hope you hold me to the prediction I've made. I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident. But let me know what you think.